Hello and welcome to our September 2025 garden tour. Today is the 21st, which, according to the revised climate zones, is now the first day of our first frost date range. So instead of a single day, we now have a date range from September 21st to the 30th. Instead of a single day, it had been September 10 before. But we already had a couple of frosts before September 10, so, take that for what it is. Anyway, so let us start with our tour here. This bed, I finally got the netting off of it. There was no point in leaving it. The cats completely destroyed the wire supports. This bed had been winter sown. Everything was destroyed. The only things that made it were these self-seeded lettuces. And they went to seed, and I collected the tops and brought them inside so they could save the seed. And they're actually shooting up new flower buds. So we're probably going to get more flowers before the hard frosts finally come. So this bed, I'm going to have to completely rework again. And I think I figured out what I'm going to do. But for now, well, the cats are using it. So whatever I do, it's going to have a setup so that we will be able to cover it and protect it from the elm seeds that fall in the spring by their billions and from the cats. Meanwhile, over here we have, this is the Mr. Honeyberry Haskap. It's not looking healthy, but it is the healthiest one of the three. The Mrs. Honeyberry over here, and one more. Oh gosh, it looks dead. It's almost completely dead. So that's another Haskap over there that's just, and I don't know whether it's the lack of light or the elm trees or these flowers. They're just not doing well over here. But yeah, so that's what we have over here. Too small. You're too small. Why are you so small? All right, we have our our sad little asparagus. We have these asparagus that are slowly developing their seeds, so still hoping to collect seeds. Look at that. That's one of our feral kittens that just sort of showed up one day. Anyhow, so that's the asparagus. The sunchokes, they're a lot shorter than in previous years, but they're managing. I might just harvest like the ones in the front over here, and that's it, and leave the rest for next year. We'll see. I haven't quite decided yet. What do you think, Havarti? Should I harvest them now or later? Yeah, go get them. Go get them. Okay, so with this winter sown bed, I've removed some of the wall that we kind of put around it to try and stop the deer from eating the everything that was in here. They even ate the radish pods. I've actually collected a lot of them and collected the seeds from them, so these are just kind of the last of them. There's still this carrot over here, and that lettuce is still in here, but there's carrots. I've seen beets in here, but I don't think they're really doing much of anything. But yeah, this one is pretty much done. I'm just leaving it because the weather has not been good for doing much of anything in here. In this bed, before we got hit with some frosts, we took out all the tomatoes. I just basically cut the plants with pruning shears, and we collected what tomatoes we could off of them to ripen indoors. The beans, amazingly, survived. The beans are in the middle there. I came back afterwards, put away all the support stakes and took away all the protective collars. So the tomato stems are still in the ground. And as you can see, they're actually throwing up new leaves, which is interesting. And the beans, meanwhile, I harvested most of the corn in here as well. Left some mostly to protect the beans. And we've had more beans in September than we've had all year. So I mean, they're even still blooming, which is weird. This bed, I took the corn out completely, and stalks and all. And so there's just the Araucaria squash in here. They got hit with the frost. I thought for sure they were dead. And here they are recovering, or trying to recover, and blooming. Like, what the heck? Some of the tomatoes we did not actually try too much to... we didn't collect the green ones to bring in. So they ended up just pulled. These are all the spoon tomatoes. The plants that we pulled. We collected as many as were ripe. So what you're seeing here, all that red, these have ripened on their own since we put the whole thing in the compost. So we're going to have a lot of self-seeded tomatoes in this compost. All right, now we are into the crab apples. This tree here, the apples are not edible. The grosbeaks like them though, the deer like them, so there we are. This is the one that has the most delicious little apples. And we've actually not been doing anything with them other than just straight up eating them. They're like having dessert. They're just really amazing. And then we've got this one over here. These apples don't taste very good, but we're leaving them for the birds and the deer. And then we have these ones, which have nice big apples in comparison. And they're ripe now, finally. They ripen like a month later than the other ones. And they are quite nice. They're much milder in flavor and almost floral. And so yeah, we're enjoying these as well. Just straight up eating them, not doing anything else with them. All right, here we are at the end of the silver buffalo berry, where we have the two that produced berries this year, which means we could probably expect quite a bit next year. We've got the high bush cranberry that have not really grown much at all this year. And got our two surviving sea buckthorn, and still no way to tell if they're male or female. Probably be another year or two for that. And why are you crying? Hi, who are you? Yeah, okay. You go hide there. All right, we got this single purple raspberry that survived, and it never got any bigger than that. Let's get closer so you can see it. There's that. And over here, the mulberry bushes have lost their leaves already, and hopefully they will survive their second winter out here. I'll go over to this one over here. So yeah, they've lost their leaves completely. And then we go over to our haskap. So there's one over here, our cross-pollinating varieties. I put all that mulch on top, and now that's what I get for not putting cardboard underneath. So that's all growing through. Here we have our apple tree, and we come around. Here's our gooseberry, and then we have our plum that the deer kept going after. So we've got the chicken wire around it, and it is recovering nicely. It got denuded quite a bit, so it's good to see how well it has recovered. All right, so this is our trellis bed with our pumpkin, our Carmenette pole beans, and we got onions in here, and we've got pumpkin, and we've got self-seeded tomatoes. So this is one that I missed, and another one that I missed from when I was weeding earlier. As you can see, our red noodle beans have not gotten any bigger at all. I don't know what happened with these. Hey, what are you doing? But they just didn't grow. They stalled, and that was it. Our pumpkins, we have a single pumpkin ripening, as you can see. This vine is looking dead. When the frost hit, I expected it all to go. we'll just wait for that vehicle to go by. So we got, I actually thought the second frost had killed off the sunflowers. But we got this one over here. A deer had eaten its top, so it threw up 2 shoots. Here's one. And here's the other. It's got sort of like deformed seed heads there. This one over here has no seed head at the top. It just some twisted thing. Got onions, gods of seed, and look at this pumpkins. It's actually regrowing new vines all along here. And I think these ones, because they went around the ground, they were able to recover, whereas this one that went up the trellis wasn't able to. Because this one in particular, it has the most contact with the soil, and they can send down adventitious roots. So I think that's why. Let's look at all those leaves, all these fresh green leaves. This thing was dead. Oh, like you can tell, dead. We also have these tomatoes. The onions that are for seed, they're slowly drying out. Okay, so look at all those seed heads on there. And then I got this one here, and this one has all these blooming seed heads. It's gorgeous. And then we have this other little surprise here. Oh, let me get rid of these seeds. I don't want them in here. Alright. So this confirms to me that these self-seeded tomatoes are indeed spoon tomatoes. So that's what we got over here. And they're even ripening. So these survived the frosts. And one of them is actually producing fruit. At this time of the year is pretty amazing. Speaking of amazing, check out this growth over here. Look at that. Look at that. What a survivor. Here we have the flower bed. The cosmos are getting taller. Still no flower buds anywhere. But, okay, the nasturtiums are done blooming, and we've been collecting seeds from them. But here we have asters finally blooming. Oh, and we have a pollinator. Look at you. Come on, focus. Oh, here we go. So they are finally blooming. So I'm looking forward to being able to collect seeds from these memorial asters. And then what on earth is this? I've never seen fungus like this before. Cool, I think. I don't know if that's good or bad. Anyhow, all right, so the winter sown bed, it's pretty much empty. There's still some carrots growing in here. Hello, Rolando. There were some onions in here that I actually, oh, you mean one, harvested. And there's still some carrots that have gone to seed. I've actually collected the seed heads and brought them in, but there are more developing. So this carrot seed heads. And I collected most of the radishes from here as well, and collected the seed pods. So this bed is pretty much ready to just put to bed for the winter. Now this bed is where we had the melons and the spoon tomatoes. And I think these collars actually protected the melons at least a little bit, because they didn't get killed off completely by the frost. But they're certainly not thriving. On like they did not do much of anything this year. Excuse me while I put a stop to that. I thought getting cats fixed would mean they would be less aggressive. That doesn't seem to be working. Including this beast. Hello, Rolando. You gonna bite me? Gonna scratch me? Not this time? Okay. All right, so we have the spoon tomatoes here, and you can tell when we harvested, we dropped some, so that's fine. The chard, the giant Ford hook chard that I planted, is still there, not really growing. We had like a full 24 hours of rain not long ago. So the ground is moist and all that, but look at this. Look at this. Fresh growth on these beans. They had been killed off by the frost too, I thought. And then there's this. Oh, look at that. That's actually Rolando. That tomato is actually attached. This was a branch I'd pruned off the bottom of a tomato as I was transplanting it. And so we never bothered pulling it, and here it is still producing. So here's the bush beans, the few that survived. And this is a transplanted, what were you? You were a zucchini, black zucchini. And it's blooming. Now, the surprise I discovered yesterday is, put these sticks over here and I'm tripping over them anyways. Peas. I just found peas growing. These are self-seeded. They just sort of showed up. And I'm not sure how they self-seeded over here because the peas were growing in this bed. So the carrots on either side, they can stay in the ground through the winter if we wanted to. But the peas have all been pulled, and I've been collecting the seeds. And here's Stinky trying to kill off my carrots. And yeah, so this we're still leaving the carrots to slowly harvest as we need them. And over here, I'm keeping the winter squash alive. I have managed to, I protected them from the frost. I got actually a couple of squash in here. I'm not going to uncover it for this because, well, tomorrow it'll be finally warm enough that I feel like I can take the cover off. But for now, it's just too cold. But I had it open for a while, and it was all just sort of bunched over on this side. When I went to cover it again, I discovered a huge hole. So I've got basically, this is a dollar store shower curtain covering where you can actually see where the hole is. So that's over there. And this is where the potatoes were. We have just a few potatoes left, just digging them up as we want potatoes for the kitchen. And here we have our summer squash. We've actually had a few zucchini to harvest. And here's a developing one. And we finally have our very first white scallop squash. I hand pollinated that one. But it's the only female flower in this bush. But yeah, so this is what we have for summer squash. You can see the cold damage on the leaves. We've been covering them on the cooler nights. But it's just a sheet on top of this frame that I've made over it. And so it's not all the way down to the ground, but it's enough to keep them from freezing. But once we have an actual hard frost, there's not much we can do to protect these. But, you know, at least we got a few zucchini this year. Now we check out our new asparagus bed. This is the Jersey Giant asparagus that did come up. These are the transplanted Albion Everbearing strawberries that we transplanted. There's one over there. So 4 out of 5 of these asparagus came up. And then we have the purple asparagus on this side. None of them came up. And then we have more of these transplanted strawberries. And hopefully next year this bed will do better. I always forget about this apple tree. This is the Liberty apple tree. It's the Zone 4 apple tree that is in a very protective area, a little microclimate so it can survive our winters. And now we did have the crocuses show up this year, but then they just kind of, I don't know, disappeared. So I don't know what's going on with them. We definitely did not have any flowers. And then I finally got the rest cleaned up. This is our tulip bed over here. So if we can get the Creeping Charlie under control, we'll hopefully have more tulips next year. Now we'll go into the old kitchen garden. You can see how I'm storing the collars, the protective collars. Got our mint over here. So I got some progress done on this bed. Experimented with tighter weaving on this side. It looks a lot better, but the willow switches that I were using, they were just too stiff to weave this close together. So what I'm probably going to end up doing on the other side is, I think I'm just going to not weave at all. What I'll do is I'll put probably one more support in the middle, but offset from the ones that are already here and just shove the wood down in between them, so they're just sitting on top of each other and not weaving them at all. And I think that's the best we could do for this side. But meanwhile, over here we've got our Sweetie Snack Mix peppers. I've harvested a whole 2 peppers out of here. And there's the Grink. Hello, Grink. And that's it. And they both happen to be red, and this is supposed to have orange and yellow as well. So we'll see what survives. I've been covering them on the colder nights, but that's about it. And look at that. There's even flowers. These tiny little strawberries, they're actually still blooming. Amazing. Over here, I've actually harvested some of the, look at that. So I can probably pick those. The Turkish orange eggplant. They are growing, and the only problem is with the ones that we've tried so far is when my daughter tried eating them, and it seems that she is allergic to something in the skins. She ended up with numb lips and a numb tongue after eating them. And it's not like she hasn't eaten the skins of eggplant before. So they're also still blooming. And then there's this one tomato back here. These are a lot more sensitive to colder nights than other things that we've had. So we probably won't grow this variety again, simply because they're a little too fragile for our climate. But, and these are mystery flowers. But, it was worth a try. And, I don't know, I'm glad I tried it. I just know I won't be growing them again. So in this bed, we're still cut and come again with these Swiss chard. Got these onions over here still working up. There's kohlrabi in here that is done. Basically, they just need to be pulled. But where it is, I'm going to show you. So I trimmed some kohlrabi from its stem, and they started sending up fresh shoots. There we go. There's fresh shoots coming up, which is interesting. But yeah, aside from the chard and the onions, this bed's done, I should say. We had self-seeded spinach coming up on the sides, but as you can see, we have a hole happening. Yeah, because the cats have been digging in there. I'm not sure what they're after. Possibly they saw a mouse or something like that and ran after it. So I got to find a way to block up that hole. And over here, we have our recovering rose bush. It got hit with scale insects really badly, and we managed to save it, it looks like. And then over here we have our herbs. They're doing all right, and I just been using them as we need to. So that's all right. And then we have our walking onions, and they're pretty much done for this season. They're gonna need some trimming, and that is about it for here. There's our chives, rhubarb, and a way too small kitten. Too small. Here we have our grapes, and we actually did have grapes this year. We had quite a lot of grapes, and we didn't do anything with them. We didn't even really harvest them. We just grabbed them as we felt like it and straight up ate them. Oh, look at that. There's a few left over here. And what we didn't eat, the birds ate. I'm pretty sure it was the birds, because when the raccoons went after them, this whole thing was torn down. So yeah, we actually had a really good year for grapes. We just didn't really do anything with them. Let's see how dark they are. They're mostly seeds. But very sweet though. Yeah, so that's what we have over here for the grapes. Now we have one last stop inside the portable greenhouse. We got this leaf over here. Even with the greenhouse and the door closed, they did get cold damage. But they're still alive. They're still growing. or this one more than the other. We've got these male flowers over here blooming, and there's been ants all over them, so they've been serving as pollinators. But there's nothing for them to pollinate because there's been no female flowers. I've seen, like, right here that would be a female flower if it survives. And then over on this side we got, oh, hello. And that's why we have protective colors. This one is finally starting to grow. And then we have our succulents in here. And then we have a little coffee plant in here. So they'll go inside for the winter, but for now they are enjoying the heat of the portable greenhouse. And right now we're looking at almost 30 degrees on an otherwise 18-degree day. All right, and that is it for our September garden tour. This is Fluffy. We were able to get her fixed. That's Slick. We have not been able to get her fixed, and I think that's one of her babies. They just sort of showed up in the junk pile. I don't know how many are hers. And there's Sir Robin. Anyhow, so that's how things are going so far this year. It has been a very weird growing year, and we've had mostly failures, but we have had a few successes. And I should pay attention to where this camera is actually facing. But yeah, we should have one more tour. Oh, somebody's crying so badly. Somebody's crying. Who's crying? Oh, you baby. Must pick you up. All right, I will carry you. Here we go. Okay, I have a baby. Yeah, so so we're going to be working on winterizing and turning the heat on in this shelter, getting that all set up after we clean it up. We got some babies over there, and get things ready for winter. I don't know what to expect for next month because it's been such strange weather. I mean, we've had early frosts, and then we had another heat wave, and then a lot of rain that we really could have used in the summer and just didn't happen. And I gotta go put this baby back where its mom goes. This one was one of 3 kittens that just sort of showed up in our sunroom, and the mom brought them over because that's what the ferals do. They bring their babies over, and sometimes they stay and take care of them, and sometimes they just leave them and the crush mothers take care of them. But I'm going to bring this one in. All right, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed the tour, and we'll see if we have anything to do a tour in for October. We'll see how that works out. All right, you have yourself a great day, and thank you for watching.